All right, to one of our big stories today. Let's take you to New York now, to our correspondent Sherwin Bryce Peace. This is for the flag raising in New York in celebration of 30 years of democracy. Sherwin, it's over to you that side. What is the latest?
Mfundo, don't mind my position here, right in front of what they call the charging bull, the bull of Wall Street, if you will, an icon in the tourist endeavors in New York City. Unfortunately, it's the bottom of the bull, not the front of the bull, so we apologize to sensitive viewers for that. But let me tell you about our location. We are here in Bowling Green, at the tip of Manhattan South, where we are awaiting the arrival of the dignitaries, including the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, the Consul General of South Africa, Ishmael Esso, and various other dignitaries as part of a flag-raising ceremony that this flag in solidarity and commemoration of 30 years of democracy, 30 years of democratic and political freedom for the people of South Africa. And part of commemorations that started earlier this week, and Mfundo, you'll remember that we were in Midtown Manhattan at Times Square earlier this week, where at the NASDAQ Tower, of course the blue chip boss in New York City, they blared images, illuminated images of famous South Africans, including former President Nelson Mandela, the late Miriam Makeba, Oliver Tambo, Trevor Noah on the screen as part of their showcase of South Africa's democracy. And so we continue our commemorations today with the flag-raising ceremony. And this area is actually very significant because it's called the Canyon of Champions. This is the end of Broadway, and it extends all the way up Manhattan to the north in the direction that I'm pointing. And why is this place significant? It is the venue where Nelson Mandela in June of 1990 came here and as part of a ticker tape parade. The last time we had a ticker tape parade was in 2019 when the US women's soccer team won the World Cup, and there was a ticker tape parade similar to the one they had in 1990 for Nelson Mandela. And how do they commemorate that today? There is a plaque embedded in the sidewalk, in the pavement alongside Broadway to my north, of Nelson Mandela's name and the date in June of 1990. So a very significant moment here, a very significant location for where this flag-raising ceremony will happen. We're expecting several dignitaries from the mayor's office, including the Commissioner of Immigrant Affairs, the Commissioner of International Affairs, and various South African dignitaries, including the Consul General that is based here in New York. There is going to be some entertainment, and I'm just going to call over my friend Bongi Duma. Bongi has been part of the Lion King cast for several decades now, and he will be performing here along with various members of his crew. Bongi, welcome to SABC News. Tell us about what your role will be as part of South Africa's commemoration here in New York.
Well, today we are honored to be invited. We're going to sing along with my friends we're all in the Lion King. We're going to give some energy from South Africa, some celebratory songs. And this is very important to us, obviously, because for us to be here, it is because of the freedom that was won by South African people. And so it's a celebration that we never take for granted, that we are here because we understand the role that things like this and people who were before us, that they pay for us. So we're going to be singing, and just to get everyone to celebrate with us as we mark the 30 years of freedom. Some of us came here with Sarafina in 87, and when Mandela came here after being in prison, they were here to see him come. So it is a special day for us, for all of us.
And what many South Africans won't perhaps know is that the Lion King production has kind of emulated South Africa's path to democracy. The Lion King production is about 26 years old, is it?
Yes.
And the movie is about 30 years old. Just tell us about that. I mean, it very much is an emblem of South Africa's democracy abroad.
Yes, and people need to understand that Lion King, there's music of Label M, who made the biggest mark in Lion King. Without Label M, there's no Lion King. Without Label M, there's no us. So all over the world, Lion King has employed over hundreds of South Africans. It's in Spain, it's in Brazil, it's in Holland. So Lion King as a whole has a representation of South Africa, which is the language, which is the culture. So every night we go on Broadway, over 2,000 people. We entertain, the first thing you hear is Nansi Ngorinya Mabagetibo, which is South Africa. We invite people to actually come and enjoy theater through our voice, through our music. And that all Lebo himself is part of those South Africans who were in exile before South African freedom. So the whole thing connects, and it's a very important thing to celebrate. And so Lion King is one of those things that will always, even after we are gone, it will always employ and have South Africans and have a South African flag in it. The movie and the theater production.
I mean, that's a very good point you made. I mean, Lebo M, when we marked a big event at the consulate, I think it was last year, he talked about what a good employee, an employer, the Lion King has been for many South Africans that have been able to have careers in the United States. It's also, is it the third longest running show or second longest?
It is the third now. It is the third because a Phantom just closed. So we are creeping up there. I think a few more years it will be the one. It is obviously the most grossing show on Broadway. So it has made more money than any Broadway show that has ever made money on Broadway in the history. I
know you're an entertainer, a lover of the arts, but let me ask you a little bit of a political question, right? Yes. We are heading into a big election. Yes. Come the 18th of May, people will be voting in the United States, of course, at the end of the month in South Africa. Do you pay attention to what is going on back home? Do you watch the political climate? Yes. What are your thoughts about this as you reflect on 30 years of democracy?
I think it is important, first of all, that South Africans come out and vote. And then one of the things that I remember very well, Nelson Mandela said, he said that even if the black government that we put on, if they do the same things that we protest against, we should march and take them out. And I think people should express the way I live in America. I have a luxury of living in America, but I go home all the time. I see what people go through, and I think people should come out and express that. And the only way to make change is to vote. Absolutely. So as an artist, we are on a campaign to encourage people to vote and understand the importance and the impact it will have, because it will give a generation of people like us an opportunity to work and live abroad.
Bongi, good to see you. Thanks so much. We look forward to your performance later.
Thank you so much.
All right, Bongi Duma from the cast of The Lion King, just chatting to us about his experiences living abroad as we reflect on 3 decades, 30 years of democracy in South Africa. We're moments away from the officials arriving. There'll be a flag-raising ceremony. It'll be live on the SABC News channel. Mfundo, back to you.
Indeed, we will be taking that live. That's my colleague Sherwin Bryce Peace, SABC News correspondent in New York for us.